Alright, this is the Tarot IRONMAN 650. It is complete. It has been test hovered in my garage. I haven't taken it outside yet because it's raining. But I wanted to go over a few things in this video because I can tell that most people, including myself, are going to have a little bit of a hard time calibrating and setting up the NASA system if you've never done one before. It was a little bit of a challenge. I had a lot of this quad put together and ready to go, and I was waiting on the NASA, and the NASA finally showed up. I actually ordered another one that I found locally, and it just showed up today, so I have an extra one. The NASA is an interesting little device, so I wanted to go over a few things. And by the way, that is a heli canopy that I modded to fit it. Since I thought it looked pretty cool. This was an old T-Rex 600 canopy that I had lying around, so I modded it a little bit. And I've got to make a couple of attachment points, but it actually sits on it really cool and it gives it a pretty neat profile. So I did make a first flight just prior to this video, and I wanted to share that with you. But regarding the NASA system, it is definitely something that you need to take your time with and do as much research as you can on the internet, gather as much information, watch some videos on YouTube, because there's guys that have set it up. And I did find one that was set up with the Futaba 8 FG Super, and that's what I'm using. So there was a guy that did a really good job of showing all of his settings on his transmitter. The nozzle is located on the center deck, dead center of the CG. GPS receiver antenna is mounted just slightly off center. You have to input those. Well, I don't know if you have to, but they suggest that you input that on the assistant software that you'll have to download onto your system before you can even get the NASA to work. But I did finally get it to work. I had a few problems. I was beating myself in the head because I swore I had everything hooked up properly, and I did find my motors were all running in the right direction, but I did find one motor, my motor number one actually, was in the wrong port on the NASA. Yeah, actually, which meant I had two motors in the wrong ports. And what I did was I fired this thing up last night, held it over my head, had a good hold of the gear struts up close to but held it up high enough and then placed my radio somewhere where I didn't have to hold on my radio. And to test this thing before you even fly it, I highly suggest you get it up to speed, get the props up to speed, and then start cycling your left and right control stick to see if the inputs are making the right reaction on the airframe. And last night it definitely was not, and it was a head scratcher for me because, like I said, I would have sworn that I had everything hooked up right because I methodically went through it, but I screwed it up. And it was making false and unpredictable reactions on the airframe with my inputs, so I knew it wasn't going to fly. But then this afternoon, I was able to troubleshoot and find the problem, and I corrected it immediately. Went back, recalibrated all my stick inputs on the assistant software, and came back out, did the same thing. Held it up over my head, and sure enough, everything was functioning perfectly. And then when I threw it into attitude mode, it actually just sat there in my hand with like no resistance from either direction, almost like I could have just let go of it and it would have stayed put. So then I brought it down, took it out for its first test flight. I'm going to show you that vid really quick. I took it outside right after it stopped raining, and you're going to see the Tarot flying for the first time, or at least mine, and I was kind of excited about it. Then afterwards I'm going to do another video and try to go over the NASA a little bit better, so the newbies to these quads like myself can get it figured out, maybe hopefully a little quicker for them. And again, you know, this is my first multi-rotor. However, I've built and flown multiple giant scale aircraft, 3D helicopters. I've been in the hobby for 25 years, and the NASA was probably once it's probably the most challenging for me because it's just a different concept of setup. I mean, this is basically like a robot. It's not the same as setting up a heli or an RC plane, in my opinion.
You need the...
Got a little bit of wind knocking it around a little bit. This is in attitude mode. Hovering right at half throttle, just by luck.